According to NASA, we're going to face a 100-year-long drought. A drought more devastating than the 1930 Dust Bowl that forced America to plunge into crisis and left millions of people without the basics of life, like water and food. People think the drought from the past 15 years in California is a big deal, when in fact, it's only the beginning. The coming drought is so big that it's going to affect the entire continent, from Mexico to Canada, and it doesn't have anything to do with the global warming hoax, but with a strange weather pattern that happens once every 1,000 years. And the worst part is, this drought will crush the American civilization because we're completely unprepared. My name is John Gilmore, and in this short presentation, I'll explain why the mainstream ways for finding or storing water to quench your family's thirst will be useless in the coming 100-year drought. Why relying on them will actually make you vulnerable and dependent on FEMA, the government, or greedy water suppliers. And even worse, they put a big bullseye on your house, making you the best target for looters that will kill for a sip of water. And I'll also give you the answer for all these problems. A surprising invention from the Israeli army that makes water out of thin air, even in the desert. A portable water generator that gives up to 50 gallons of water per day. It doesn't matter if all the wells are dried out or if you live in the desert where it's so dry that even all the cactus has died. This method makes you truly independent. You'll never have to rely on a water well that might dry out soon, or on rain harvesting, if you're lucky enough to have rain, and if you live in one of the states where it's not banned yet. So stick with me, because you're about to find out how to tap into nature's secret water reservoir. Right before I got the chance to discover this miraculous solution, I almost died. Like I said, my name is John Gilmore. You might know me from Survivopedia.com. I'm a writer and an editor there. People usually seek my advice because I'm specialized in wilderness survival, and because I spent almost 2 decades studying every last type of survival situation. I try to help everyone I can, giving them practical, safe guidelines that would actually make a difference in survival scenarios. Perhaps even more important, I'm a proud father and husband, and I strive to make a positive mark in this world. I live on a small farm close to Arizona with my wife and my 14-year-old son, and we're self-sufficient people. We grow our own food and built our own house. We even dug our own well to have all the water we needed. Little did we know this drought was going to hit us so hard. 2 years ago, our well completely dried out. Each year, the water level in our well seemed to be dropping, and last year, it finally gave up on us. We didn't really panic because we had stockpiled a water supply of about 500 gallons. We knew it should last us long enough till we could dig a new well. A couple of nights after we applied for a new well, I heard some noises outside the house. I grabbed my rifle and rushed out to see what it was. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. There were 2 men loading our water barrels into their truck. They didn't try to come in. They weren't looking for money or electronics. They were stealing the water we relied on for our survival. I felt a rush of rage and anger building inside me. I felt I could shoot them both right there on my property. But before I could aim my rifle, I felt the cold barrel of a gun pressed upon my neck. "Sorry, pal. We're taking your water." It was a third robber, and he was probably on the lookout. I got caught up in the moment, and I didn't see he was sneaking up behind me. Before I had the chance to say anything, he hit me with his gun. I heard a bang and felt this excruciating pain in the back of my head. And then I lost consciousness. My wife found me in a pool of my own blood after the water thieves left. I couldn't believe anyone would do such a thing. The drought turns people into savages. And then it hit me. What happens if the drought continues? What will people become? Will they even kill for water? People are already desperate. They turned into animals because the past 15 years have been rough on all of us. The drought hit us hard, and there's no signs it's going to get any better anytime soon. In fact, I discovered that the next war won't be fought for oil, but for water. The fight to grab the remaining water already started in America. It's a covered-up civil war. On one side, there's the corporations who buy all the water reserves they can, plus Obama's government, who's trying to pass EPA regulations that give the feds the right to confiscate our water on our lands as they see fit. On the other side, it's you and me, the people, who have no power to fight them. All those who are forced to pay for dirty tap water or their expensive bottled water. So why are they doing this? It's because of what NASA is predicting. NASA has scientific proof that we're facing a drought that's going to last 100 years. A 100-year mega drought, similar to the one that wiped out the American continent 1,000 years ago. This might come as a shock. You might say I'm full of beans or that I'm bending the truth. That's why I will try to back everything with hard facts. I'll show you proof that this mega drought is happening again. There's a reason why no real civilization developed on the American continent until the coming of European immigrants in the 17th century. Until then, America wasn't fit for modern life, for agriculture, and for building villages and cities. Why? Because for hundreds of years, America was a desert. In fact, December 2012, Columbia University published a frightening report. They found out that from around the year 900 and up to the year 1300, there was a mega drought on the American continent. It was so extreme that we have no modern comparison. It was the only time and place it ever happened. The bad news is, history repeats itself, and these harsh conditions that made modern life unbearable in America are now returning. This is the reason why NASA's using expensive satellites to study water, both above and below the ground. What's frightening is there's water disappearing all throughout the American continent, not just in the USA. Take Lake Mead, for example. The largest water reservoir in the U.S. now sinks to a record low. It reached its lowest level since the lake was first filled out in 1930. And that's not all. There are plenty of lakes in California just vanishing because of the high demand from households and parched farmers. The lakes just don't have enough time to fill themselves before they're drained dry again and again. And the result is shocking. Here's the picture of Lake Oroville that reveals the shriveling effects of the drought. Just imagine, if the drought keeps getting worse, and there's no proof of it getting any better, lakes like these can disappear in as little as 3 to 4 years.